Hello, good day to you who's ever watching this, and I hope you learn something from me, from my group. My name is Vince Ivan B. Hanopol, and I'm the representative of Group 3 for these topics. So, let's jump right into it. Let's start with a computer network. Computer network. A computer network is a system that connects numerous independent computers in order to share information and data resources. It is a connected group of computers and computer hardware which are interconnected and can share resources from one machine to another. The integration of computers and other different devices allows users to communicate more easily. Hardware and software are used to connect computers and tools in any network. So, ang computer network ay isang network na nagko-connect rin sa ibang computers upang makapagpalit and mag-share rin ng iba't ibang kinds of information. May software at hardware tayong ginagamit upang lahat ng impormasyon na gusto nating mabigay o matanggap ay ating makukuha at masasend. Ayun, mapapadali ang lahat ng gawa natin. Calls, sending informations. So, yun lamang po sa computer network. So, then, let's move on. Let's move to next topic. Computer network model. Computer network models are responsible for establishing a connection among the sender and receiver and transmitting the data in a smooth manner respectively. There are two computer network models, in example, OSI model and TCP/IP model, on which the whole data communication process relies. Ang OSI model or Open System Intercommunication Model is a conceptual model that characterizes and standardizes the communication functions of a telecommunication or computing system without regard to its underlying internal structure and technology. And next, the TCP or IP model or the Internet Protocol Suite is the set of communications protocols used in the internet and similar computer networks. The current foundational protocols in the suite are the transmission protocol and the internet protocol. At ipapakita ko po ang picture ng isang computer network model. May kita na nga rin po dito. At meron pa po ako may papakita na isa. Ito po siya. Laptop to PDA wireless access point. Broadband, router, firewall, Wi-Fi. At next po, let's move on to next topic. Computer network types. Computer network, two or more computers that are connected with one another for the other purpose communicating data electronically. Two basic networks types are local area networks, LANs and wide area networks or WANs. These are the computer network types: personal area network, PAN, local area network, LAN, wireless local area network, WLAN, campus area network, CAN, metropolitan area network, MAN, wide area network, WAN. At ito po sila. PAN, a personal area network, is a computer network for interconnecting electronic devices within an individual person's workspace. A PAN or a personal network area provides data transmission among devices such as computers, smartphones, tablets, and personal digital assistants. LAN, a local network area, is a computer network that interconnects computer within a limited area such as residence, school, laboratory, university campus, or office building. By contrast, a wide area network not only covers a larger geographic distance, but also generally involves leased telecommunication circuits. WLAN. A wireless LAN is a wireless computer network that links two or more devices using wireless communication to form a local area network within a limited area such as home, school, computer laboratory, campus, or office building. CAN. A campus area network. Campus area network, corporate area network, or CAN is a computer network made up of an interconnection of local area networks within limited geographical area. MAN, a metropolitan area network, is a computer network that interconnects user with computer resources in a geographic region of the size of a metropolitan. 1. A wide area network is a telecommunications network that extends over a large geographic area. Wide area networks are often established with leased telecommunication circuits. Well, actually, madami pa't ibang communication types, pero ito lang ang akin nilagay kasi sobrang dami. But that's all. I hope you learned something from me. Thank you and have a good day.
Good day. I'm Lizelle Villalba and I'm going to discuss social networks. Social networking is the use of internet-based social media platforms to stay connected with friends, family, and peers. The most popular social networking sites in the US include Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Marketers use social networking for increasing brand recognition and encouraging brand loyalty. Social networking means the chatting, videos, calling on internet, and the networking which you are doing is better in the social networking is mostly used for the social jobs, social meetings. Online social network. A social networking service or SNS is an online platform which people use to build a social networks or social relationships with other people who share similar personal or career content, interests, activities, backgrounds, or real-life connections. Social networking services vary in format and the number of features. Types of social networks. Social networking sites. Social networking sites usually allow a new user to provide a list of people with whom they share a connection, and they allow the people on the list to confirm or deny the connection. Social review site. A review site is a website on which reviews can be posted about people, business, products, or services. Image sharing sites. Image sharing or photo sharing is the publishing or transfer of digital photos online. Image sharing websites offer services such as uploading, hosting, managing, and sharing of photos publicly or privately. Video hosting sites. Video hosting is the concept of uploading your video content to be able to distribute it online. They all serve the same basic function. You upload your content to their site. They host the video on their server, and you use an embed code or link to insert the video content elsewhere, like on your own website. Community blogs. Community blogs are predominantly websites where many authors can post journal entries on a single space, and where people can respond by commenting on posts to the community blog. Discussion sites. A discussion forum is a website where people can gather to have discussion about a specific topic. Sharing economy networks. The sharing economy is defined as an economic system in which assets or services are shared between private individuals, either for free or for free, typically by means for the internet. Online social networking service. What is meant by social networking services? A social networking service or SNS is an online vehicle for creating relationships with other people who shares an interest, background, or real relationships. Social networking service users create a profile with personal information and photos and form connection with other profiles. Social networking sites allow users to share ideas, digital photos, and videos posts, and to inform others about online or real-world activities and events with people within their social network.
Hi, my name is Kent Libelio, and I'm reporting the growth of online social network. Online social network or OSN have blossomed as the internet exploded. The history and the growth of OSN have mirrored and kept in tandem with the growth of the internet. At the infancy of the internet, computer-mediated communication services such as Usenet, ARPANET, Listserv, and Bulletin Board Services or BBS helped to start the growth of the current OSN. Let us now see how this contributed to the growth of OSN. The first one is the BITNET. BITNET was a wide-area cooperative computer network made up of the network from different universities in the US. It was established in 1981 by the City University of New York, or CUNY. Ira Funch and Graydon Freeman from Yale University, with the first network link being between these two universities. Its name was originally taken from the PACE because it's their net, but later changed to because it's TimeNet. So, BitNet was simply an early leader in worldwide network communications for the education and research communities. It became the groundwork for the modern internet introductions, especially to the areas outside the US. BitNet was point-to-point store forward kind of network, very different from the way internet protocol works. This means the BitNet email and files were transmitted as whole data from one server to another until it reached the final destination, making it more like Usenet. BitNet used the RSCS protocol to network job entry, which was also used for the huge internal IBM network called VNet. When the protocol used by BitNet were ported to non-IBM mainframe OS, it became more popular and widely implemented in VAX or VMS. So next one is Bulletin Board Services. Bulletin Board Services, or BBS, is a computer or an application dedicated to the sharing or exchange of messages or another files on a network. Originally an electronic version of the type of bulletin board found on the wall in many kitchens and workplaces, the BBS was used to post simple messages between users. The BBS became the primary kind of online community through the 1980s and early 1990s, before the World Wide Web arrived. A BBS was accessible from a dial-up modern telnet or the internet because it originated before the graphical user interface or GUI became prevalent. The BBS interface was text-based. Although recent web-based versions have a graphical, interactive user interface, the text online interface preferred by BBS purists can often be accessed by telnet. According to Justin Scott, co-founder of Sirion Interactive and former CISO, a web-based BBS is essentially a website that is powered by BBS software rather than a web server. And lastly, Listserv. At its simplest, a listserv is a piece of software used to run a group email discussion list. In fact, Listserv is a trademark name owned by Elsoft International, which coined term after building one of the first and most popular electronic mailing list program. However, now the name Listserv is used whenever someone is talking about a group mailing list, similar to how people say, I have Dyson Hoover. Ethical and privacy issue in online social network. Privacy is a human value consisting of a set of rights including solitude, the right to be alone without disturbance, anonymity, the right to have no public personal identity, intimacy, the right not to have monitored, and reserve the right to control one's personal information, including the dissemination methods of the information. Autonomy is important because humans need to feel that they are in control of their destiny. The less personal information people have about an individual, the more autonomous that individual can be, especially in decision making. However, other people will challenge one's autonomy on the quantity, quality, and value of information they have about that individual. As information becomes more imperative and precious, it becomes more important for individuals to guard their personal identity. Personal identity is a valuable source of information. Unfortunately, with the rapid advance in technology, especially computer and telecommunication technologies, it has become increasingly difficult to protect personal identity. Privacy issue in online social network. The internet contains wealth of data and it always a serious subject of concern for privacy issues in social network sites. The problem of data privacy have been made worse by the growing number of youth flocking into these online social networks without or paying little attention to privacy issues for themselves or others. Privacy can be violated anywhere, including in online social network communities, through intrusion, misuse of information, interception of information, and information matching. Although terms and conditions were always made to be seen and agreed during users' registration process. Most of the time, we as users tend to ignore the policy and expertly issues that everything would be in a good place without realizing that we might so safely permit a gateway access of breach to our processed personal information. If you have been following the online social network trend, you probably know by now that there are been growing concern other breaches in privacy caused by social network services. Many users feel that their personal details are being circulated far more widely than they intended it to be. For example, with the advent usage of global positioning system or GPS or location-based social networking, many users feels that their personal details are being circulated far more widely than they intended it to be. For example, with the advanced usage of global positioning system or GPS or location-based social network applications, you are subject to accept a data policy that might covertly take advantage of your privacy to legitimately and specially target you with advertising ads. Some worry that Facebook could learn where you live, where you sleep, where you work, all with data from your phone. However, early this year, there are news reports on Facebook users are committing virtual identity suicide in quitting and deleting their accounts due to privacy concerns and fear of internet addiction. Analysis of more than 600 people by researchers from the University of Vienna found that the data protections issue and social pressure to add friends were also among the reasons for leaving. This shows that privacy issue is in social networking sites is in a serious and critical stage where users could not tolerate more and believe in the best time for them to totally bring themselves out offline. Strengthening privacy in online social network. As more and more people join OSN and now rapidly growing MOSN, there is a growing need for more protections to users. And here's some steps on how you protect or increase your protection in your personal information or accounts. Both OSN and MOSN applications should be implicit about which users' activities automatically generates events for their activity streams. Users should be have control over which events make it into their activity streams and be able to remove events from the streams after they have been added by an application. Users should know who the audience of their activity streams is and should also have control over selecting the audience of their activity streams. Both OSN and MOSN application should create activity streams, events that are in sync with users' expectations. And other suggestions that may help in this effort: use secure passwords, like use some symbols, numbers, use awareness of the privacy policy and term of use for the OSN and MOSN. Both OSN and MOSN providers should devise policies and enforce existing laws to allow some privacy protections for users while on their networks. Ethical issue in online social networking. Nowadays, social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram have massive amount of followers and users. They are actively publish and share information in social media almost in instant during or after any events or activities. Due to lack of awareness upon the danger of social networking, these active users are more prone to be publicly targeted since they are available and searchable through their profile pages, which contain personal information such as location and phone number. Moreover, the proliferations of mobile devices such as web-enabled cell phones allow for the instantaneous collections of information or sharing of these sites. The complexity, unpredictability, and the lack of central authority is further enhanced by this aspect. Number 1. Personal virtual personality. You know their names, their likes and dislikes. You know them so well that you can even bet on what they are thinking, yet you do not know them at all. You cannot meet them and recognize them in a crowd. Anonymity. You work with them almost every day. They are even your friends. You are on a first name basis, but you will never know them. They will forever remain anonymous to you and you to them. Multiple personality. You think you know them, but you do not, because they are capable of changing and mutating into their personalities. They can change into as many personalities as there are issues being discussed. You never know which personality you are going to meet next. Of late, the news media has been awash with many of these online ills and abuses, and the list is growing. Cyberbullying, cyberstalking, and cyber harassment, potential misuse, free speech, risks for child safety, psychological effect of online social network. And that's all. Thank you.
Hi, good day. My name is Michaela Monterona and I will continue what we were discussing. So here we are. Security and crimes in online social networks. Online crimes in tandem with the growth of computing and telecommunication technologies are one of the fastest growing types of crimes, and they pose the greatest danger to online communities. E-commerce and the general public. An online crime is a crime like any other crime, except that in this case, the illegal act must involve either an internet-enabled electronic device or computing system, either as an object of a crime, an instrument used to commit crime, or repository of evidence related to a crime. One is unlawful access to information. So the unlawful access to information, it maintains existing offenses and criminalize new activities such as illegal interception and the usage of certain tools for committing offenses. The offenses that is the cause of this article: illegal access to information system. So secondly is illegal interception of information. So interception made by technical means without right of any non-public transmission of computer data to from or within a computer system. So the number 3 is unlawful use of telecommunication equipment. So It conceals the existence, place of origin, or destination of a telecommunication service or information service. So the number 4 is forgery with use of computer measures. So computer-related forgery involves impersonation of legitimate individuals, authorities, agencies, and other entities online for fraudulent purposes. So next is intrusions of the public switch and packet network. So a network intrusion refers to any unauthorized activity on a digital network. Network intrusions often involve stealing valuable network resources and almost always jeopardize the security of networks and further data. So the next is network integrity violation. So the integrity violation can occur when an attacker attempts to change sensitive data without proper authorization. An example of an integrity violation is when an attacker obtains permission to write to sensitive data and then changes or deletes it. So the next is privacy violation. Common invasion of privacy, torts, or wrongful acts against business include misusing a person's dates for marketing purposes, publishing someone's likeness without permission, and making email or telephone communication without the opportunity for the recipient to out. So the next is industrial espionage. Industrial espionage is defined as an individual or private business entity sponsorship or coordination of intelligence activity conducted for the purpose of enhancing a competitor's advantage in the marketplace. So next is pirated computer software. Software piracy is the unauthorized use, copying, or distribution of copyright software. So the next is fraud using a computing system. Computer fraud is a cyber crime and the act of using a computer to take or other electronic data or to gain unlawful use of a computer or system. In the United States, computer fraud is specifically prescribed by the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, which criminalizes computer-related acts under federal jurisdiction. Next is internet or email abuse. Spam unsolicited emails that attempt to sell you a product or service. What types of emails abuse affect the university by cluttering inboxes, wasting valuable time, threatening security, and consuming resources. So next is using computers or computer technology to commit murder, terrorism, pornography, and hacking. So cybercrime, also called computer crime, the use of a computer as an instrument to further illegal ends, such as committing fraud, trafficking in child pornography and intellectual property, stealing identities, or violating privacy. Cybercrime, especially through the internet. So beware of ways to perpetrate crimes in online social networks. As if we have to fight online crimes, we have to first learn how they are perpetrated. Earlier, we noted that online crimes are defined in a variety of ways, reflecting the many different ways these crimes perpetrated. So some of the most common ways are through system penetration and denial of service attacks. Defense against crimes in online social networks. Although there are systems that are randomly attacked, most victim systems are pre-selected for attack. Because of this, we can defend a system against online attacks. An effective defense plan consists of prevention, detection, and analysis and response. So the next is proven security protocols and best practices in online social network. There are hundreds of security protocols to meet the needs of organizations trying to improve their system security. There are so many of them. Some open source and others not, that they pose a problem to security professionals to choose a really good product. The security personnel must strive to come up with a list of the best protocols and best practices to suit the system. Some of these protocols include the following. So, authentication. Authentication is the process of validating the identity of someone or something. It uses information provided to the authenticator to determine whether someone or something is in fact who or what it is declared to be. The process usually requires one to present credential or items of value to the authenticating agent to prove the claim of who one really is. The items of value or credential are based on several unique factors that show something you know, something you have, or something you are. So, here, the number one is something you know. It may be something you mentally possess, like a password, a secret word known by the user and the authenticator. This technique and authentication is cheap but has weakness such as memory lapses. So the next is something you have. It may be any form of issues or acquired self-identification such as secure ID, active card, or any other forms of cards and tags. So this authentication technique is slightly safer. So the next is something you are. There are individual physical characteristics such as voice, fingerprint, iris pattern, and other biometrics.
I am Cristan R. Perez. Access control is a process of determining how access to system potential resources can be provided to each system user. Because a system, especially a network system, may have thousands of users and resources. The management of access right for every user per object may become complex. Several control techniques and technologies has been developed to handle this problem. They include the access control matrix capability, tables, access control list, rule-based access control, rule-based access control, restricted interface, content independent, access control, and biometrics. Access control. Describe lock and keys because it's controlling access someone to the room. Of course, access system is evolved and now are computer-based. Access control is largely used to exterior doors, scalable to support someone information. Sabi dito na napakadaming tao ang gumagamit at information na nakapaloob dito. At ang management system ay gumawa ng paraan para mahirapang pasukin ang information ng isang user. They include the access control matrix, capability tables, and access control lists, and etc. Legislation. Since ever the start of NISU cable computer technology, MISU, government and national legislators around the world have been enacting law intend to curb the growth of this crime. The report card of this legislation has been mixed. In some cases, legislation as a form of deterrent has worked. In the others, it has been failure. However, we should not lose hope. Enforceable law can be productive. Legislation. Dahil nagsimula mapansin ang maling paggamit ng computer at ibang social media platform, ay nagpatupad ng batas ang gobyerno para maiwasan ang ganitong krimen. Napasa naman ito, ngunit hindi ito 100% na nag-work. And they say, we should not lose hope. Kailangan lang natin paigpitin ang batas na ito. Self-regulation. Perhaps one of the most successful forums of deterrence has been self-regulation. A number of organizations formed to advocate parents and teachers to find way to regulate objectionable materials from reaching the children. Also, families and individuals, sometimes based on their morals and sometimes based on their religion, have made self-regulation a cornerstone of their efforts to stop the growing rate of online crimes. Marahil isa sa pinakamatagumpay na determinasyon ay ang self-regulation at isang samahan ang nagtaguyod sa mga magulang at teacher na humanap ng paraan para turuan ang mga bata na malaman ang tama at mali. Kasama na din ang pamilya at mga nakapaligid sa kanila at sa mga sarili nilang threats at ang kanilang religion upang makabuo ng kanilang self-regulation. Nang sa ganon ay mabawasan ang paglago ng mga online crimes. Detection. Although it is easy to develop mechanics for preventing online crimes, it is not so easy to develop similar effective techniques and the best practices to detect online crimes. Detecting online crimes continues a 24-hour monitoring system to alert security personnel whenever sometimes unusual, sometimes with a non-normal pattern different from usual patterns of traffic in and around the system occurs. Detection system must continuously capture, analyze, and report on daily happenings in around the network. In capturing, analyzing, and reporting, several techniques are used including intrusion detection, vulnerability scanning, virus detection, and other ad hoc methods. Detection, from a word itself, detect, which means to identify something concealed. And we talk about cybercrimes. We all know that is a criminal activities carried out by computers or internet. Detection is a tool or techniques to prevent such as cybercrime, and it's not easy to use because it is said that it must continuously analyze and capture. Recovery. Recovery is a process to proceed by process of analysis, which involve taking as many as data as possible gathered during last intrusion and analyzing these four patterns that can be used in the future for response, for detection, and for prevention. Recovery requires the use of all variables and resources to first mitigate in the problem in progress, then recover whatever can be recovered and use it to build a new data in replace of or to replace the destroyed data. Recovery. Dito papasok ang pag-recover ng information, files at iba pa. Bago ito burahin na maaaring magamit sa pagdetect at pagbawi ay kailangan ng variable resources para maalis ang problema sa pag-process at gamitin ang mga nakuhang information para makabuo ng bagong data na pwedeng ipampalit sa nasirang data or information.